When a man goes silent, that silence ain't always peaceful. It's loud, it's screaming with what he can't say, what he won't say, and sometimes what he's afraid to say. Now listen, ladies, y'all ask the question, is he thinking about me? Does he still want me? Why ain't he saying nothing? And here's the truth. When a man cares, he either speaks up or shuts down. Not because he doesn't love you, but because he doesn't know how to love you right in that moment. When a man goes silent, it's easy to assume the worst. Many women interpret that silence as a sign that he no longer cares, that he's moved on, or that the relationship meant nothing to him. But silence can be complicated. For a lot of men, silence doesn't mean absence of emotion. It means overload. He's feeling too much, and he doesn't know how to say any of it. It means overload. He's feeling too much, and he doesn't know how to say any of it. Society conditions men from a young age to stay quiet about what hurts. Boys are told not to cry, not to talk about what's going on inside, and not to appear weak. So as men grow up, silence becomes a kind of survival. It becomes a habit, especially when they're dealing with heartbreak, failure, or vulnerability. A man might care deeply, love fully, and still go silent when things fall apart, not because he's cold, but because he's trying to process what's happening in a language he was never taught how to speak. When things get tough, men often turn inward. Instead of talking to someone, they try to work it out in their head. They isolate themselves emotionally. It's not that they don't want to talk, it's that they don't know how to talk in a way that doesn't feel like they're losing control. Silence becomes a way to stay in control. But during this silence, he's often playing back every moment, every mistake, every word spoken. He's analyzing it, trying to figure out what went wrong and what he could have done better. His silence is loud with thought. And sometimes he thinks staying silent is actually helping you, that he's giving you space, that he's sparing you more pain by not reaching out until he's figured himself out. He's trying to solve the storm in his head before he opens the door to yours. A lot of men don't speak when they're unsure. If he doesn't know what he wants, or if he's doubting his ability to be what you need, he'll pull back. That silence isn't about you, it's about his uncertainty with himself. He may be questioning if he's enough, if he can provide emotionally, mentally, or financially. And instead of expressing that, he goes dark because silence feels safer than vulnerability. Because he doesn't want to say the wrong thing, because he's afraid that once he opens up, everything will come crashing out. Some men fear that if they start talking, they won't know how to stop. Or worse, they'll say something they can't take back. So when a man goes silent, it's not always a reflection of his feelings for you. It's often a reflection of how he feels about himself. He might love you deeply but feel broken. He might miss you every day but think he doesn't deserve you. He might be replaying every memory you shared, wondering how it slipped through his fingers. His silence may carry regret, fear, confusion, even guilt. Pride is one of the biggest barriers between a man and his ability to show love openly. From a young age, men are taught to value strength, independence, and control. Vulnerability is often mistaken for weakness, and expressing deep emotions can feel like a threat to that identity. So when a man feels love, longing, or heartbreak, he doesn't always know how to express it in a way that feels safe. Pride steps in and says, hold it together. Don't let anyone see you fall apart. That pride doesn't mean he doesn't care. It means he's afraid of what showing that care might cost him. To say, I miss you, or I need you, or I was wrong, would mean dropping his guard. And for many men, that's terrifying. Pride makes a man believe that silence is strength. It convinces him that showing emotion will make him look small, and that reaching out first will make him look desperate. So instead of sending the message he wants to send, he types it out and erases it. He watches your stories but doesn't react. He waits for you to text first because pride won't let him be the one who seems more invested. And the whole time he's battling with himself. He wants to speak, he wants to fix it, but his ego keeps him frozen. Pride is like a wall he builds between his heart and his words. And even if he's hurting inside, he'd rather suffer in silence than admit he still cares. Sometimes a man's pride makes him sabotage the very thing he wants most. He'll pretend he's fine when he's not. He'll act distant to protect himself from rejection. He'll hold back love to avoid looking vulnerable. And when he sees you moving on or living your life, it stings. But his pride tells him not to show it. He'll tell himself he's unbothered, even though every part of him wants to reach out. Pride can trick a man into believing that protecting his image is more important than protecting the relationship. It stops him from apologizing, from admitting fault, from saying what's real. And in the end, it's not the lack of love that ruins things. It's the silence. Pride demands men often confuse emotional silence with maturity. They think staying quiet makes them emotionally strong. But real strength is in being able to speak your heart, to say what you feel without fear of looking weak. Pride doesn't just affect romantic relationships. It shapes how a man deals with stress, how he handles loss, how he processes failure. He learns to mask everything, to hide the softness, to armor up. And when he finally does feel the weight of what he's lost, it's pride that keeps him from turning back. He'll wonder if it's too late. He'll hope you reach out first. But that same pride won't let him take the first step toward healing, even when his heart is begging him to do it. Indifference and silence may seem similar on the surface, but they carry entirely different meanings when it comes to relationships. Silence, in many cases, is filled with emotion, pain, confusion, regret, love that doesn't know how to express itself. Indifference, on the other hand, is the absence of all of that. It's not about being too overwhelmed to speak. It's about not feeling the need to speak at all. That's the real danger. Because when a man is silent but still emotionally invested, there's still a connection, still a battle going on inside. But when a man becomes indifferent, that battle is already over. He's checked out. The emotional strings have been cut, and he no longer feels the weight of losing you. Indifference is colder than silence. It's not him thinking about you and stopping himself from texting. It's him not thinking about you at all. It's not him watching your stories and feeling something. It's him scrolling past without a second thought. Indifference doesn't carry guilt, doesn't carry sadness, doesn't carry any urge to fix what's broken. It's not the quiet of a storm waiting to pass. It's the dead calm after everything has already been destroyed. And that's why it's more dangerous than silence. Silence may hurt, but it usually means there's still something left underneath. Indifference is a flat line. It's emotional distance that has turned into emotional absence. Many women confuse the two, hoping that silence still means love, that maybe he's just scared or unsure. And sometimes that's true. But when a man is indifferent, he no longer worries about how his actions affect you. He's not haunted by the memories, not holding back out of fear of saying the wrong thing. He simply doesn't care enough to say anything at all, and that's where the difference lies. Silence is an emotional pause. Indifference is emotional closure. When a man becomes indifferent, he no longer feels the urge to explain, to apologize, to justify. He doesn't flinch when you don't call, and he doesn't hope when he sees your name pop up. He's emotionally detached, and no amount of reaching out will pull him back in. There's a kind of silence that holds space for healing and reconnection, a silence that's temporary and full of unspoken emotion. But there's another kind that's rooted in indifference, and it's not temporary. It's final. A man who is indifferent won't come back when he's ready because he's not trying to come back at all. He's already moved forward, maybe even without realizing it. He's already accepted the loss, or worse, he no longer sees it as a loss. And while that truth may sting, it's also a form of clarity, because the worst place to be is caught between wondering whether he's still silent because he cares or silent because he's done. Indifference is louder than silence because it speaks with absence, with emotional emptiness, with a peace that no longer includes you. Love without action is just empty noise. Words can sound sweet, messages can feel comforting, but without real effort, none of it means anything. A man can say he loves you 100 times, but if he's not showing up, if he's not doing the work, if he's not making you feel secure, seen, and valued, then that love becomes just a story he's telling instead of a reality he's building. Love is not about promises made in the heat of the moment. It's about what a person does when the feelings fade, when things get hard, when silence feels easier than honesty. It's easy to post quotes, to say I miss you, to watch from a distance and pretend to care, but real love steps forward. Real love makes moves, not excuses. A man who truly loves you won't let silence replace communication. He won't let pride keep him from apologizing. He won't disappear when things get uncomfortable. He will fight his own fears, his own habits, his own past, just to meet you where you are. That's love in action. It's not always perfect. It's not always romantic, but it's consistent. It's real. And when a man is serious about you, he doesn't keep you guessing. He doesn't make you question where you stand. He makes it clear through his time, his presence, his protection of the connection you've built. He knows that affection without accountability is manipulation, not love. And attention without intention is distraction, not love. Some men will claim they love you, but all they give is silence, distance, and confusion. They'll come and go when it's convenient. They'll give just enough to keep you hoping, but never enough to help you grow. And the truth is, love isn't supposed to hurt like that. It's not supposed to make you doubt yourself. If someone truly values you, they won't keep you on standby. They won't disappear just to see if you'll chase them. They won't use silence as punishment or distance as power. That's not love. It's control. It's immaturity. It's emotional inconsistency dressed up as mystery. A man who loves you in action will show up even when it's uncomfortable. He'll tell you the truth even when it's hard. He'll make time even when he's busy. And most of all, he'll take responsibility for his role in the relationship. He won't leave you carrying the emotional weight alone. He'll understand that love is built on effort, not just emotion. That it's shown in how he handles conflict, how he respects your boundaries, how he works through his own issues instead of making them yours. because love is a verb. It's something you do, not just something you say. It's in the little things, the everyday choices, the hard conversations, the small sacrifices. If his actions don't match his words, then his love is not love. It's convenience, it's comfort, it's fear of being alone masked as connection. Waiting for someone to finally say what you need to hear can feel like holding your breath underwater, hoping the air comes before you drown. But the truth is, your value is never meant to be measured by how long you're willing to wait for someone to figure you out. Too often, people get stuck in limbo, mistaking their own patience for strength, thinking if they just hold on long enough, the silence will break, the answers will come, the love will show up in the way they've been dreaming of. But waiting, when it becomes endless, when it becomes one-sided, starts to turn into self-abandonment. The longer you wait for clarity from someone else, the more disconnected you become from your own. Peace isn't something you should be willing to lose in the name of love. If the silence from someone starts to make you question yourself, your worth, your beauty, your strength, then it's no longer about love, it's about survival. A healthy relationship doesn't require you to sit in confusion. It doesn't make you second guess your every word, your every move, or your very existence in someone's life. When a person truly cares, they bring clarity, not chaos. They communicate even when it's hard. They don't disappear and expect you to hold space for their return. They don't leave you hanging on to a version of them that only exists in your hopes and memories. When someone wants to be in your life, they make it known. They don't play hide and seek with your emotions. They don't rely on your silence to fill the gaps they leave behind. And they don't confuse you with their inconsistency. The truth is, when someone stays silent while you struggle for answers, they're not protecting you, they're protecting themselves. They're avoiding confrontation, avoiding responsibility, avoiding commitment. And your worth is not something that should be lost in that avoidance. You're not supposed to wait endlessly for someone to become what you've been ready for all along. The longer you wait in silence, the louder your inner voice becomes, whispering doubts, fears, and questions that steal your peace. And peace is sacred. It's the foundation of your emotional health, your confidence, your happiness. No relationship, no connection, no memory is worth sacrificing your inner calm. You deserve to be chosen, not just occasionally remembered. You deserve answers, not more questions. You deserve presence, not empty space. Holding on to someone who won't speak, won't show up, won't commit, can begin to erode the way you see yourself. It can make you feel like you're hard to love, like you're asking for too much, when really you're just asking for the bare minimum. Respect, honesty, effort. If someone can give you that, the silence is your answer. Waiting for more doesn't make you loyal, it makes you vulnerable to emotional starvation. And love should never feel like starving for something that should come naturally if it's real. That clarity matters. That love is not just felt, it's shown. And when he knows he's found something real, he's not going to risk losing it by staying quiet. He won't sit back and hope you read his mind or pick up hints. He'll make sure you know where you stand, because real men take responsibility for what they feel, and they don't gamble with someone else's heart just to protect their own ego. He doesn't let his past hold his present hostage. And he doesn't let pride speak louder than love. A man who's ready knows that silence doesn't build trust, it breaks it. It creates distance, doubt, and disconnection. So when he's truly ready, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, he makes the effort to speak even when it's hard. He doesn't ghost you and call it space. He doesn't disappear and call it healing. He shows up, not just in the good moments, but in the uncomfortable ones too. That's what separates a grown man from a boy pretending to be one. Silence may feel like control to some men, but a real man knows that silence in love can be cruel. He chooses communication over confusion, action over assumption, and truth over comfort. He's not perfect, but he's intentional. He doesn't wait for you to chase him down for answers. He gives them to you because he respects you. He sees that love isn't about who can care less, who can stay silent the longest, or who can win the power struggle. It's about who's willing to be honest, who's willing to grow, who's willing to put pride aside and say, I want you, and I'm not going to lose you because I was too afraid to speak. That kind of man isn't common, but when you meet him, you'll know. Because there won't be guessing, overthinking, or hoping he feels the same. He'll make it clear, not just with his words, but with how he treats you. Silence from a man who truly wants you doesn't last long. He may pull back to reflect, to process, to get himself together, but he always comes back with clarity, not confusion. He understands that if he values you, he can't leave you hanging in uncertainty. He understands that if he values you, he can't leave you hanging in uncertainty. He knows the longer he waits, the more he risks losing your trust, your belief in him, and your heart. So he chooses to speak. Not always in grand speeches or perfect lines, but in honest moments, in small truths, in showing up when it matters most. He won't let fear keep him from loving out loud because he's done hiding, done hesitating, done running from what he knows is real. He takes the silence and turns it into something stronger, a foundation for real connection built on truth, not distance. When a man goes silent, it can feel like emotional torture, leaving you questioning everything. But his silence doesn't define your worth. It's not your job to decode mixed signals or wait endlessly for clarity that may never come. Real love speaks through action, effort, and consistency. If he truly wants you, he won't stay silent for long. He'll show up, speak up, and make sure you know where you stand. But if the silence lingers, it becomes your answer. Don't let pride, fear, or nostalgia convince you to wait in emotional limbo. Protect your peace. Sometimes walking away from uncertainty is the boldest form of self-respect. The right man won't leave you confused. He'll bring calm, clarity, and commitment. Your time, your love, your energy are too valuable to be spent on someone who chooses silence over showing up for you. Choose yourself every time. That's where real power begins.